Hi everyone, I'm Alexa and welcome to the American Cheerleader, where we discuss professional cheerleading prep, advice for making the team, and ultimately how to live out your dream of being a professional sports dancer. My name is Alexa, and if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're going to dive into all topics professional cheerleading and what it's like to finally hit the field or court of your dream sports team. If you are looking at auditioning for a sports team, you're probably envisioning yourself wearing that crisp uniform with those sparkly palms and plastering that gorgeous smile on your face for game day. It's truly a dream to be a cheerleader in the NFL, the NBA, or whatever team you're trying out for. But before we get into how to make your dreams come true, everyone who's ever danced professionally for a professional sports team has one thing in common, and that is that they all had to audition. Even if you're already on the team and you want to come back for a second, third, or fourth year, you know what you have to do? You guessed it, audition. If you're already a dancer, you know that auditioning is just part of the life of being a dancer. Some people hate it, some people love it. No matter how you feel about auditioning, I suggest you learn to love it because it's a very important step to making those dreams come true. So let's dive right into today's topic, the top 10 things you need to know before that audition date. Now, I am speaking to these things based on the auditions that I had when I was an NFL cheerleader in Seattle. So some of these things might be a little different for the NBA or a different league of sports that you might be auditioning for. So if you have a question or you want to provide some comments and feedback that you think would be helpful for somebody else, please do so in the comments below this video and I will respond and try to get your question answered in the next video. The top 10 things you need to know before audition date. 1. Attend the workshops. There are likely these practice workshops that you can go to before the actual audition that the team will host, and these are to help you learn the style of dance and to maybe see some veterans and learn from them. You might be an expert dancer in jazz or lyrical or hip hop, but it doesn't mean that those skills will translate over to the style of the team that you're auditioning for. So go to the workshops and learn right next to the people who know it best. 2, even though they might say that the workshops are casual and that they are just, quote, practice and not an audition, they are so not. It's definitely not casual. You are on from the moment they see you at those workshops or hanging out in the lobby of the gym, wherever you are, through the audition process, and then once you make the team. You are always on. So don't treat it like the gym that you would go to after work when you have no makeup on and your outfit's not put together. It's not quite like that. Number 3, the audition is more than about just dance. Now this might come to a shock to some people. Some might think that if they have a lot of training in dance, they can go ahead and make any professional cheerleading team. Look on the website of the team that you're auditioning for. They will likely have criteria listed that they will be judging you on. Usually it's something like dance ability, performance and showmanship, technical skill, physical appearance, speaking ability, and overall wow factor and personality. This might be different from other technical dance studios that you have auditioned for or teams that you have been on, where if you have certain skills like a round off back handspring or something like that, you are automatically on a certain team. That is not typically how professional cheerleading works. There's a lot more that you're judged on. Someone who is a weaker dancer but a really strong speaker might be needed for that team because they might need people who can go speak. Or someone who is a weak speaker but a very strong dancer might also make the team because they need certain dancers and maybe not speakers. Number 4, get hair and makeup lessons before stepping foot into the workshop and especially the audition. Now some teams might be more casual about this, but I wouldn't make any assumptions. Even if they say something is casual, I would be prepared to put your game face on. Most likely your version of having your makeup and hair done is not their version, nor should it be, right? Because if you're standing on a football field, your hair needs to be so big and you need to have so much makeup on that if you see that person up close, they kind of look like a clown. But that's how much makeup they need in order to be seen from a distance. Go to the website of the cheerleading team you want to audition for and you'll likely see some sponsors. You'll probably see hair sponsors, makeup sponsors, stuff like that. Find out what kind of makeup they wear and who does their hair if you can, and then go to those companies and ask them to do a tutorial for you. They will happily do your makeup, and if you only want to pay for it once, you can maybe take some photos during the process that they're doing the makeup and try to replicate it yourself. When you make the team, you will likely get a lot of lessons in hair and makeup. However, if you're not 90% prepared at the beginning of the audition, they probably won't take you. Even if you might be super beautiful with makeup, you do need to have a game face on, even if it's not perfect, throughout the entire audition. You want to make sure you look your personal best. Number 5, make sure you've nailed the most important skills. Now again, this will be different for every team. However, it's pretty safe to say you've got to have a double pirouette, you've got to have high kicks, you've got to have good split leaps. And come prepared with a few other tricks up your sleeve in case you have an opportunity for a solo or another chance to show off a move that you can do that maybe somebody else can't. If a double pirouette or a beautiful, powerful split leap is not in your inventory, I suggest working on those things number 1. You're likely not going to make it if you can't nail down those basic skills. Number 6, think about what you're going to wear. Just like my point earlier, even if they say something is casual, I would put thought into your outfit. Make sure your workout attire is incredibly flattering to you and looks put together. Don't wear something with holes in it or something that doesn't show off your figure well, or something with a lot of logos like Nike or Prince or anything that's distracting. You can get away with some black shorts and a black sports bra just fine. Just make sure everything is tight. You don't want to be loose and out of control, if you know what I mean. When in doubt, go full out. You never want to be the underdressed person in the room. It's always better to be overdressed. You want to look put together and beautiful from the moment someone sees you on that team to the moment that they say goodbye. Number 7, practice speaking in front of a camera. You might think that you are already good at speaking, but speaking in front of a camera is a different story. I suggest pulling out a camera and introducing yourself. Say who you are, where you're from, what school you went to, what was your major, what's your job, and why do you want to audition for this team. I'd also challenge yourself and answer the question, who's your favorite football player or basketball player? Be able to speak to the team and maybe what's going on. Read some news articles that the team has posted recently and be able to comment on them. Make it short and sweet. You never want to talk too much in front of the camera, but you want to be able to provide some insightful answer to a question that makes people just like you and want to hear more. Most likely there will be cameras at the audition and they love to pick out the new girls because they're nervous and they can ask them questions. So have some answers ready to go. Remember, no need to tell your whole life story, just keep it short and sweet and make a good impression. Number 8, take a good look at your calendar. If you seriously want to consider making this team, consider the fact that for the next year of your life, this team will be your number 1 priority aside from a large family emergency or illness. This will take priority in your life. So look at your calendar and ask yourself if you are prepared to dedicate yourself to the practice schedule and to the game schedule. If you don't live in the area or you're attending school from a different area, now will be a good time to consider how you're going to make that work. It would also be a good time to consider how you're going to do that with your job if you're currently working full or part-time, because what you don't want to have happen is in an interview, when they ask you how you're going to manage your schedule, you don't want to not have an answer. And you definitely don't want to make it to, say, the final round of audition and then find out that it's not going to fit in your schedule at all and be majorly disappointed. Number 9, look at the timeline for auditions and think about what you're going to need to be happy. I'm talking about food, clothing, bags, stuff like that. How are you going to stay satiated for the whole day audition that's maybe 2 days long or 2 weeks long? How is that going to work for you? Maybe consider meal prepping, thinking about what food you can bring with you. Oftentimes auditions go longer than expected, they don't follow a timeline, and you're sitting around waiting and you're hungry and you're nervous. Not a good time to starve yourself. So I would have a food plan and be ready to have a duffel bag of some kind with everything you need in it. And I would think about that now as opposed to the night before, and then you find yourself unprepared and then you're stressed out, and that's the last thing you want before an audition. Remember that the moment you walk into the audition, you want to look completely pulled together. So you want to have one bag with all your stuff in it. You don't want to be carrying around a grocery store bag and then a plastic bag and so many different things. You just want to look completely put together, even if on the inside you don't think you are. Finally, number 10, just like the camera tip I said earlier, watch yourself dancing on video. Go to YouTube and find videos of the team that you're auditioning for. Just type in cheerleaders for XYZ and you will find so many videos. Try to watch one of those videos in slow motion and memorize the moves. Just say she's going to the right, I'm gonna go to the right, and try to learn 4/8 counts of one of their dances. Then practice it in front of a mirror and then film yourself doing it. You'll probably find that although you're doing the moves correctly, you don't look like the dancers that you're trying to imitate. And so that's when you want to start asking yourself, why? What is it that she's doing that I'm not, even though I'm doing the moves correctly? and try to just find one thing you can do differently next time. Do it again, watch the video, and see if you're a step closer. Don't assume that once you make the team, you will learn how to dance like these dancers. Although you will, you are more likely to make it if you already look like them, not someone who has to have a lot of work put into them. Hopefully that makes sense. You also don't want the first time to see yourself on video to be at the audition. Like I said, there might be cameras at the audition and you might see video of yourself even if you don't make the team on the team's website. You don't want that to be the first time you see yourself because you might think, I could have just straightened my leg in that kick, it would have been so much better. You want to have those thoughts before the audition. All right, well, I hope these 10 tips help you prepare for your next audition. If you have an audition coming up, comment below this video and let me know, and I will love to respond and help you out as you prepare. Spread the word and share this video with your teammates or friends who are also looking forward to an audition this year. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.